From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Microsoft links Sharepoint ToolShell attacks to Chinese hackers. Microsoft formally attributed the widespread exploitation of a SharePoint zero-day chain, dubbed ToolShell, to Chinese state-linked hacking groups, including Linen Typhoon, Violet Typhoon, and Storm 2603. The attacks have targeted on-premise SharePoint servers across multiple sectors. But with a proof-of-concept exploit now public and active exploitation ongoing, CISA has issued urgent mitigation guidance for affected organizations. Russian threat actors target NGOs with new OAuth phishing tactics. Russian-linked threat groups UTA 0352 and UTA 0355 are targeting NGOs and Ukraine-related individuals with OAuth phishing campaigns that exploit Microsoft 365 login flows. Velocity says the attackers impersonate diplomats via messaging apps. They lure victims into providing OAuth codes and then use them to access Microsoft Graph data, including emails and files. These attacks bypass traditional defenses by abusing legitimate Microsoft infrastructure and tools like Visual Studio Code. Silicon Valley engineer admits theft of U.S. missile tech secrets. Engineer Chengwang Gong has pleaded guilty to stealing more than 3,600 trade secret files from two U.S. electronics firms, including sensitive missile defense and satellite surveillance tech. Gong transferred the files to personal drives shortly before taking a job with a direct competitor and had previously pitched similar technologies to Chinese talent programs aimed at acquiring foreign intellectual property. The FBI uncovered the theft during a post-employment audit. Gong now faces up to 10 years in prison. Llama InfoStealer malware returns after law enforcement disruption. The Llama InfoStealer malware operation has resumed activity after a May law enforcement takedown that seized 2,300 domains. Despite that disruption, Llama's operators quickly rebuilt infrastructure and returned to near pre-takedown levels, now using Russian hosting provider Selectel instead of Cloudflare. Distribution methods include fake software cracks, malicious GitHub repos, fake CAPTCHA pages, and links shared via YouTube and Facebook, highlighting the resilience of malware-as-a-service operations when no arrests are made. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Nudge Security. Day 3, secure your critical business apps. Attackers no longer break in, they log in, and your software-as-a-service footprint is now their prime target. Nudge Security discovers every SaaS app used in your org, secures configurations, enforces MFA, and manages app-to-app access so you can prevent identity-based attacks. Start a free 14-day trial today at nudgesecurity.com/identity. Contract lapse leaves critical infrastructure cybersecurity sensor data unanalyzed at National Lab. A critical contract supporting DHS's Cyber Sentry program at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory expired, leaving threat detection data from key infrastructure networks unanalyzed. The lapse, revealed during a House hearing on operational technology cybersecurity, hinders monitoring of emerging threats on OT environments. Experts warned that under-resourcing of OT security, compounded by recent federal budget cuts, poses a significant risk to national cybersecurity. FBI urges vigilance against Interlock ransomware group behind recent healthcare attacks. The FBI and other federal agencies are warning about a ransomware group known as Interlock, which has recently targeted critical infrastructure and healthcare organizations in the U.S. and Europe. First observed back in September of 2024, Interlock uses tactics like drive-by downloads and fake browser updates to gain access to victim systems. The group has attacked DaVita and a major Ohio healthcare provider, among others. Ransom notes lack payment instructions, but demand Bitcoin. Authorities suspect ties to Riceta ransomware. Cisco confirms active exploitation of ISE and ISE PIC flaws. Cisco confirmed that attackers are actively exploiting multiple critical vulnerabilities in its Identity Services Engine, or ISE, and ISE Passive Identity Connector, or ISE PIC. The flaws allow unauthenticated remote access with root-level control, making them especially dangerous for enterprises relying on ISE for network access policy enforcement. Cisco detected the exploitation this month and has since released patches, urging customers to update immediately. The company hasn't identified the attackers or shared technical details about how the flaws are being used. UK to ban public sector orgs from paying ransomware gangs. The UK government plans to prohibit public sector and critical infrastructure organizations, including the NHS, schools, and local councils, from paying ransoms after cyber attacks. The move is meant to disrupt the ransomware business model and reduce the appeal of targeting essential public services. Businesses outside the public sector won't be banned from paying, but they will be required to notify the government before doing so to avoid violating sanction laws. A mandatory reporting system is also in development to help law enforcement trace attacks and better support victims. Make sure to keep up with us at the CISO series on LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you have thoughts on the news from today or about the show in general, be sure to reach out to us at feedback@cisoseries.com. We would love to hear from you. I'm Sarah Lane, reporting for the CISO series. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and stay classy.
Cybersecurity headlines are available every weekday. Head to CISOseries.com for the full stories behind the headlines.